The cruise industry, now a multi-billion-dollar global enterprise, has undergone significant transformation since its inception. Today, cruising is synonymous with luxury, adventure, and leisure, offering millions of passengers the chance to travel to exotic destinations aboard floating resorts. However, the history of the cruise industry is one of innovation, economic shifts, and cultural change. What began as a form of transportation for the elite has evolved into a highly competitive industry with diverse offerings for travelers of all types. Early beginnings, the roots of sea travel, pre-19th century. The concept of sea travel dates back to ancient civilizations, where sailing was primarily done for exploration, trade, and military purposes. In ancient Egypt, Greece, and Rome, the wealthy and elite traveled by sea for diplomacy and leisure, though voyages for leisure were a rare privilege. The first rudimentary forms of leisure travel by water can be traced to the Renaissance period, when the European elite began to take longer voyages to explore coastal regions and distant lands. While these trips were more for exploration and diplomatic purposes than for relaxation, they planted the seeds for modern cruising. It wasn't until the 19th century, with the rise of steam-powered ships, that the idea of leisure sea travel began to take form. The introduction of steamships made ocean travel faster, more reliable, and more comfortable, setting the stage for the evolution of cruising. The steamship era and the birth of the cruise concept, 19th century. The introduction of steamships in the early 1800s revolutionized sea travel. Unlike traditional sailing ships, steamships could maintain more predictable schedules and provide more comfortable travel. The Peninsular and Oriental Steam Navigation Company, P&O, founded in 1837, was one of the first companies to offer ocean voyages designed explicitly for leisure travel, offering Mediterranean and Eastern voyages from the UK. In the mid-1800s, companies like Royal Mail Steam Packet Company began offering Mediterranean cruises, mainly for the British elite. These were early examples of ocean voyages designed not just for transportation but for relaxation and exploration. Luxury, comfort, and service began to play a role in these voyages, though they were still primarily aimed at the wealthy. These early cruises were long voyages, often combining leisure with business or trade. But, over time, the idea of travel purely for pleasure, with activities, relaxation, and luxury on board, began to take hold. The golden age of ocean liners, early 20th century. The early 20th century saw the rise of ocean liners, which were built for long-distance travel, particularly across the Atlantic. These ships were designed not just for practicality, but for luxury, and they became symbols of wealth and high society. The RMS Titanic, launched in 1912, is perhaps the most famous example of this era, symbolizing the height of luxury and the dangers of sea travel. Ocean liners like the RMS Queen Mary, 1936, RMS Queen Elizabeth, 1940, and SS France, 1962, epitomized this period. These vessels were floating palaces, offering first-class accommodations, grand dining rooms, and recreational activities such as smoking rooms, lounges, and ballrooms. While the Titanic's tragic sinking in 1912 highlighted the risks of ocean travel, it also cemented the association between ocean liners and luxury, glamour, and status. The sinking, however, also led to significant changes in safety regulations, improving the safety of future ships. Despite the luxury of ocean liners, most passengers still use them primarily for transportation. Leisure travel by sea, as we know it today, had not yet reached a mass market. It wasn't until after World War II that cruising as an industry began to evolve more definitively. Post-World War II, the rise of mass-market cruising, 1940s–1960s. After World War II, as the world economy recovered and disposable income increased, leisure travel began to grow in popularity. The ocean liner, once the domain of the elite, began to shift toward a broader market. People no longer saw ocean travel as a mere means of transportation, but began viewing it as a luxurious vacation option. The 1950s and 1960s saw the first inklings of modern cruising. Ships like the Queen Elizabeth II, which debuted in 1969, were still considered luxurious, but they began catering to more than just the wealthy. The idea of using ships specifically designed for vacationing began to emerge. In 1966, Royal Caribbean Cruise Line, now Royal Caribbean International, was founded, offering affordable Caribbean cruises to a wider audience. The company's first ship, Song of Norway, 1970, was a game-changer, built specifically for cruising and featuring amenities like air-conditioned cabins, multiple dining options, and entertainment facilities. In 1972, Carnival Cruise Line was founded by Ted Arison, introducing the Mardi Gras, the first purpose-built cruise ship for the mass market. Carnival's emphasis on fun and affordability, combined with vibrant decor, casual dining, and entertainment, established the company as a leader in mass-market cruising. As cruise lines like Norwegian Cruise Line and Costa Cruises began offering Caribbean and Mediterranean cruises, the idea of cruising as a leisure activity for the middle class began to take off. The 1980s and 1990s, the cruise revolution. The 1980s and 1990s marked a turning point for the cruise industry, characterized by rapid growth and significant innovation. By now, cruising was seen as an accessible, enjoyable vacation option for families and individuals of all income levels. The industry expanded significantly, both in size and scope. The rise of megaships, ships grew larger, with more onboard amenities and greater capacity. Royal Caribbean's Sovereign of the Seas, 1988, was one of the largest ships of its time and was the first to feature a multi-deck atrium and an outdoor pool. This was just the beginning of the trend toward larger, more luxurious vessels. Carnival, with its fun ship concept, introduced its own set of larger ships that catered to families and younger cruisers. Innovation in ship design, Voyager of the Seas, 1999, the first of Royal Caribbean's Voyager-class ships, was revolutionary, offering innovations like an ice skating rink, a rock climbing wall, and a royal promenade, an indoor shopping and dining street. These features set the standard for future ships, emphasizing onboard entertainment and recreation as part of the cruise experience. Expansion of cruise options. Cruise lines began to expand their offerings beyond the Caribbean to new, exciting destinations. The 1990s saw an explosion in Mediterranean, Alaskan, and even transatlantic itineraries. The cruise experience evolved to cater to all types of travelers, from families looking for adventure to couples seeking romantic getaways. The 2000s and 2010s, floating resorts and luxury cruises. The early 21st century ushered in an era of mega ships and floating resorts. Larger ships with even more innovative designs and luxurious features began to dominate the market. The Oasis of the Seas, launched in 2009 by Royal Caribbean, was a true game-changer. This vessel, the largest cruise ship in the world at the time, introduced multiple neighborhoods on board, such as Central Park, an outdoor garden with real trees, and the Aqua Theater, an outdoor amphitheater for aquatic performances. Ships like the Oasis-class vessels became floating cities, offering everything from climbing walls and ice skating rinks to mini-golf and shopping promenades. Cruise lines began to focus on creating destination-like experiences on board, making the ships as much of a vacation as the destinations they visited. The demand for luxury and niche cruises also grew. Companies like Viking Ocean Cruises targeted upscale travelers with small, intimate ships offering cultural immersion and destination-focused itineraries, while Disney Cruise Line continued to build its reputation for family-oriented cruises with character-themed entertainment and activities. Recent challenges and technological advancements, 2020s. The cruise industry faced one of its greatest challenges in 2020 when the COVID-19 pandemic forced cruise lines to suspend operations. Several ships became epicenters of the virus, leading to health concerns and widespread cancellations. The pandemic caused massive financial losses and forced the industry to rethink health protocols, with companies implementing strict hygiene standards, social distancing measures, and COVID-19 testing and vaccination requirements. Despite these challenges, the industry has shown resilience. By 2021, many cruise lines began resuming operations with new protocols in place, and the demand for cruising began to rise again in 2022 and beyond. Today, sustainability is a key focus in the cruise industry. Companies are increasingly adopting green technologies, including liquefied natural gas, LNG, powered ships, scrubbers to reduce emissions, and advanced waste treatment systems. Some cruise lines are exploring zero-emission vessels and other innovations to minimize environmental impact. Additionally, cruise lines are focusing on personalized experiences, luxury options, and expedition cruising to cater to more discerning travelers. Cruises to more remote, less traveled destinations like Antarctica and the Arctic are becoming more popular as travelers seek more unique experiences. The future of cruising. The future of the cruise industry is marked by continued growth and innovation. With environmental sustainability at the forefront, cruise lines are investing in greener ships and more eco-friendly practices. The rise of technology in the cruise experience, such as artificial intelligence, AI, robotics, and virtual reality (VR) experiences, is reshaping what's possible on board. The trend of boutique cruising, small, luxury vessels offering immersive travel experiences in exotic destinations, is likely to continue. The industry's focus on offering personalized, curated experiences will cater to those seeking more exclusive, intimate voyages. In conclusion, the history of the cruise industry is a tale of adaptation and transformation. From its origins as a means of transportation for the elite to its current role as a diverse and thriving industry, cruising has come a long way. As the industry continues to innovate and cater to changing consumer desires, the future of cruising promises to be as exciting as its past.